juice. Juice. Oh, they move that. They move that juice. Oh, they move that. They move that juice. Yeah. They move that. They move that juice. Oh, they move
I tell
that
them,
juice.
you ain't gotta be bishop, you wanna have the juice. Everybody unique, no one can be like you.
What is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on with y'all, man? If you don't know by now, it is your man, Mike Deloach here, bringing you some content of. So, it's been a minute, you know. It's been a minute since I dropped a video, and with anybody, life happens, it's been some transitions with the baby boy, with the job as well. But hey, here we are, and today we're going to bring you some more content. So one of the things that I did want to touch on today is the fact, I talk about being transitions with work, and I don't know what type of industry that you in, but regardless of whatever industry it is, I'm sure there's been some transitions with your work as well. That's if you're still working. And this is exactly what this video is going to be about today as far as working. When the thing is these days, nobody wants to work. Hey, I don't know what it is. This is a guy that I follow about finances, his name is Glendon Cameron, but he talks about, you know, luxuries once tasted become necessity, and I think about that phrase and I ask myself, is that the case with, you know, this day and age or in this time that we're living in as far as people getting used to not working, Granted, some jobs, they came to a halt, you know, and it just happened, like they had no choice. Whenever they got that call, even me, I got that call one day. The boss called me and said, hey, right now, I don't have any hours to give, and I'm sorry, but for now, I'm going to have to cut you. And he said, if I were you, I would file for unemployment, So I'm sure there's a lot of people who may have gotten that call, when it was unexpected. It was like, what? Like, okay, I guess, like that was kind of how I responded. Like, all right, well, I guess it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And this was kind of before you knew all of these incentives were gonna come into play. When people were gonna get monetized. We really didn't know to the extent of how people were gonna get monetized. You know, but here it was. Again, I'm sure there was others that got that call. And with me personally, like I've been on unemployment before, and the first time that I got on unemployment, it was a prideful thing. It's like, dang, like I gotta collect money, from the state. I was still young at the time. I was only like 22, 23. So this was the first time I had ever experienced something like that in life, and knowing that I got rent to pay. I got to put gas in my car, to get around. I still got to pay my utilities, and at the time I was fortunate enough where I wasn't paying my phone bill. I was one of those kids, if you would, that had parents that were still willing to pay those smaller bills, not now, but then, at the time. So this is my first time, experiencing, like, I guess, hardship in life in a sense, kind of that uncertainty, that sense of uncertainty, like, dang, where's my next check gonna come from? And even in that time, like, I had to apply for food stamps. And again, I was fortunate enough to be one of those people that didn't grow up on food stamps, but like I said, at that point it became a pride thing, because like, shit, I gotta get food stamps, you know what I mean? Like, dang, like, and looking at Selena documentary, that they got on Netflix, I won't say documentary, but that little Selena series, there's an episode where the dad, he has to get food stamps, and it hit his pride. He was like, dang, we got to take food stamps, and so, he accepted the fact, like, fuck it, it is what it is, this is how we gonna eat, during this time. This is how we're gonna weather the storm, you know. And even still, you know, his pride wouldn't let him hand it to that cashier. You know, he went in there with the kids, left him with the food stamps, and bounced out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't become that prideful, but that's something, you know, you can relate to, something to compare it to. But at the time, it was like, dang, you know, I got to get food stamps, and you know, I'm going in and paying with EBT or whatever. And even in gas stations, you can get certain things with EBT, you know, certain drinks and whatnot. And so at first, it was like, dang, I was hit, you know, I felt like life had hit me, you know. But at the same time, I knew there was some things that I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying, as far as life goes, some things I needed to work on within myself. And I was more or less in that position because I had allowed myself to get there. And at the time, like, I didn't quite have the hustle in me to really get out there. Granted, you know, I did what I had to do to make money, you know what I'm saying, and to get by. Nothing to the point where I had to compromise myself or anything like that. But, you know, like I said, that pride at first, I had to accept the fact that, you know, this is how I have to get by, you know. And so it was what it was for that time, you know, when, again, after working on myself and getting certain things aligned, I was able to kind of get myself out of that rut, you know what I mean, and get to the point where, you know, I'm back in the working field and, you know, feeling normal, if you would, you know what I mean. And I'm putting money in my pocket, you know what I'm saying. I'm able to pay my own bills. I'm not looking to see who couch I'm gonna sleep on, or if I gotta move back home with my mom or my parents, you know what I mean. So feeling like a man again, you know what I'm saying, back out here doing what I gotta do. I'm not getting unemployment, I'm not getting EBT. I can pay for my stuff straight up. I can go out to eat if I want to, you know. So got back into that groove, you know what I mean. And so, again, long story short, I've been on unemployment before due to circumstances that I've caused. And at the same time, was able to get myself out of that situation to get back into the working field or whatever. And, you know, doing what I got to do, you know. But back to the point where people don't want to work anymore, you know, it could be a different mindset in this circumstance. You know, because, again, we didn't know how people were going to get monetized. So now that people are, in a sense, forced to go on unemployment, you know what I mean, because they got that call that the job didn't think they was going to have to make, but they had to, you know, make that executive decision, like, this is what has to be done, and whatever's going on, we don't know what's happening, but right now this is what it is. So for people to get forced into that, you know, it was, for me, being on unemployment, it was a little different. It was kind of like, well, shit, like, for me, like I said, my reaction was like, shit, I ain't got nothing else to do, you know what I mean. This is what we was told to do. Everything is shutting down, so ain't like I can go find another job somewhere else. So at this point, it's not a matter of the type of hustle that I have in me to go, you know, get a job. It was more of like, dang, like, I had a job and I'm not collecting unemployment because I was separated from my last job. Granted, you still be, in a sense, being separated, but it was, again, no doing of your own, you know, and this was no doing of my own. So it's like, shoot, you know. So I kind of accepted whatever the situation was gonna be at the time, you know. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I would rather work, you know, if we could. Granted, you know, because, you know, it gets me doing something. I'm just an active person. I like to be out and about doing something. I like to be moving around. I can't just sit still. I feel like that's not in my nature. You know what I'm saying? But here it was. Let's go to the monetary aspect of it. So here it is. You got people, again, who are forced to go into unemployment out of no doings of their own, you know, and at the same time now you're able to collect unemployment. This time around, it's not your average, again, unemployment where you're just separated. They're giving you this incentive because we know shit shut down. We know you're forced to go into this situation, you know what I'm saying, depending on what your job title may have been, you know, whatever position you were within your industry, because some people had, you know, good paying jobs, good paying, like, or basically have positions that may have been rare and other jobs that may have just been created out of necessity. And now here it is, those opportunities that those people have created for themselves within their work environment is now being shut down. You know, we no longer need your service. And you got people who are on the lower end of the spectrum too. Let me not forget about that. Because, you know, let's say people was just a server, you know, and like I said, restaurants shut down, you really not making tip money, you know what I mean? And so to go on unemployment, be forced to unemployment, and to be incentivized, like that was like a bonus for some people, you know. And so think about people who were on the lower ends of the spectrum as far as the pay spectrum. You're getting more on unemployment than you were at your job, you know. And so fast forward, through collecting all that unemployment, through collecting your stimulus checks, you know, you're getting free money pretty much. I won't say free money, but in a sense, you're getting this extra money. That's why I guess consider it free, the extra money, you know, and you're getting more than enough to take care of your bills, more than enough to make you want to go back to work, because you know if you go back, that check ain't gonna look the same. You know what I mean? And you got to do more work to make less money. So like Glendon Cameron would say, luxuries once tasted become necessities. And I feel like that's, and again, this is just my opinion, but that's part of the reason why some people, and I could be wrong, you know. Like I said, maybe they've tried to go back to their job and they know the title that they had may be non-existent if they were to come back, and they may have to step down, you know. And how many people will want to start at a lower pay than they were before? You know, I'm sure nobody would want to do that, you know. But here it is, you still have some people, a certain group of people who don't want to work. Some people do want to get back in the workforce, and some people are taking this opportunity to switch careers, you know. Let's say hopefully they wasn't too knee-deep in a career or waist-deep in a career where, like I said, that was, you know, their only focus. But like I said, you have some people who's taking this opportunity to switch careers. And then you have some people who are, in a sense, forced to go back to work, you know. And what I mean by that, so I've kind of waited to make this video because, again, I work in hospitality, and I've seen some people come and go, you know. And one thing I started doing, I guess more of a social experiment, is to see, you know, what people, who was collecting unemployment before this, you know what I'm saying, and has anybody been working this entire time through the pandemic? Because even myself, I was only out of work for a month. But when I came back, it was only part-time hours, so I was only working 2 days a week. But I'm still grateful for that 2 days, because it gave me the opportunity to get out the house. I didn't get stuck in the mind frame where I was just sitting at home or getting lazy or something like that. You know what I mean? But I came back after a month, and I was working 2 days a week, and like I said, it kept me busy. So in my mind, like, I still got a job, you know, like, yeah, this is going on, but I'm one of those essential workers, you know what I mean? And like I said, with hospitality, we open 24/7. We don't shut down. And the thing is, people were still traveling. You know, I don't know where you are, but I'm sure people were probably still traveling in your area. Granted, like I said, you had some people who were very weary, and traveling was the last thing on their mind. They canceled all their travel plans, you know, because we got a lot of calls when everything first, you know, came out. We got a lot of calls of people canceling trips, you know what I mean? But again, it was just one of those industries that still stayed open because you still had some people traveling, you know. And so again, I was fortunate enough to still be able to go in and to feel like, you know, man, like, things have changed, but not to the point where, like I said, my position was completely cut out by, you know, artificial intelligence, you know, or, you know, whatever technology that they have out there, you know, that could do a man's job. you know. And so again, lucky enough to still have my position going, so I still felt like, you know, something is here. You know what I'm saying? It's not to the point where, like I said, we will shut down entirely. You know, some businesses, I guess, are necessary. You know, but anyway, I digress. But some people basically had to sit home. You know, because the job wasn't operating. And so if you think about that, you know, people getting this money, they sit home, and I say think about it because I don't want to make it seem like this is the reason why people are not working. But again, people got used to that luxury, you know, and now here it is, benefits are getting cut off, you know, pretty soon, and it's like, what are people gonna do? And like I said, back to that social experiment too. That's why I got away from. But some people have been on unemployment, you know, the entire time, and the money had ran out. You know what I mean? So it's like, shit, I gotta get something going. You know what I'm saying? I need me a little gig. You know what I mean? And I think you had some people who were at the same time taking advantage of the unemployment. And what I mean by that is the fact that for a while they had it to the point set up where you didn't have to do your work searches or whatever. You know, so they're basically just giving you the money without you having to look for work. Now they had changed that to the point where, okay, now you got to go back to doing your work searches. You know, things are opening up, jobs are becoming available, so you should be out there looking, right, to get a job. So because there's things are opening up, so more jobs should be hiring. So you should be able to get, if not where you used to be, at least somewhere. You know what I mean? And you have some people who I feel like still want us to take advantage of the unemployment. So it's like what they would do. Maybe let me chill. But long story short, you have some people who would come for an interview, or you know, and get hired. You did come for an interview, get hired. First day, some people wouldn't even show up on the first day. You know what I'm saying? There's a few people worked a couple days, not even a full 5 days, not even a full work week. You know, they worked 3 days and was hired part time, mind you. Will show up those first 2 days and wouldn't come back the next week. So that's why I said I waited to do this video, because I've seen a lot of people come and go and never show. You know? And that's what makes me wonder, like, dang man, there's people just to the point where they just don't want to work no more. You know? Because I wonder if, you know, if they went to the interview but didn't show it to the job, they can still put on their work search. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say people may have just been starting to take advantage of this unemployment, you know, and seeing that there's jobs out there. Because if there's a number of jobs hiring, and like I said, you technically doing your work searches by going to these interviews, and you're not starting the job, you know, like I said again, I don't know how that would work out, but they doing their work search, right? But whatever, you know. But now, like I said, we getting to the point where nobody wants to work, even part-time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 3 days. Nobody want to work 3 days a week. You know, when the work that we do is not back-breaking work. You know, I feel like this is one of the easier jobs that I've had. You know what I mean? But it's getting harder to retain people. You know? And in September, they're supposed to be cutting off the unemployment benefits, and that's one of the things I'm seeing, you know, when this money to stop, you know what I'm saying, this monetization is stopping, you know, and, you know, people really ain't gonna have no other means to get money unless they got their own business or business for themselves, you know. But it's like, after when this unemployment stuff ends, that's when you're gonna see when people want to work again. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's how it's gonna play out for us. You know, and it's sad because, you know, a lot of industries have their season. You know what I'm saying? Where they had their peak operating times, and they have those lows. But you just have to be a good business manager, a good business owner at that point to again weather the storm and get you through those times, and so you can stay operating. You know, but we're getting into one of those times where it's going to start getting slower. So it's going to be a time where we're not looking for as many people, and probably won't be looking for more people until like the springtime when people get back in the outdoors and start to traveling for the most part. That's just the nature of the beast when in this particular industry. But the thing is, now is the time to get in, because if you get in now, at least you'll have something to like they say, slow money is better than no money. You know what I'm saying? So at least you'll have something, some type of income coming in. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if you try to get in later, there may not be a position open for you, because now you're gonna have so many people trying to get into these, we'll say, few positions that may be open just due to at that point the business need versus the amount of people that needs a job. But at the same time, like I said, I can't just sit here and say nobody wants to work, because there's been people that's came on and that's staying on. But I've also noticed too, kind of back to that social experiment, is some of the older people who have a mortgage. You know what I'm saying? That's looking to keep their employment. You know, um, this one girl, that I know, this one lady, she was collecting unemployment. Her position became non-existent, and you know, she had this mortgage. But here it is, they're not counting that unemployment as, income. So, she was told, she got to find a job, to show that she's getting income, so that she can keep her house. So some people have different motivations, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it can vary on the age range or the type of person, or, when you got something to lose, you're going to do more of what you got to do, or do more of what it takes to make sure you don't lose whatever it is that, you stand to lose. So if you got somebody with a mortgage and they got a house and they got kids and grandkids, they know for themselves, well, shoot, I need to get back out of here whether I want to or not, because if not, I'm going to lose my house. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you may have this younger person who is still staying at home with mom, and mom really ain't tripping on them staying in the house, and they ain't helping mom pay rent or whatever. So, you know, they may be the type of person like, shoot, bounce from job to job. I work this job a couple of days, or yeah, I got hired at this job. If I like it, whatever, I stay. If not, I'll try out something else. You know what I'm saying? So that may be the mentality for some of the younger crowd of people that are coming in. They really don't have as much responsibility, and it's not taking that initiative to really get out there and get going, because they may have something else to fall back on. And like I said, with these older people, they some of them still got a mortgage they got to worry about, and like I said, they got kids, they got grandkids, so they got a lot more to lose. And if they lose that unemployment and they ain't got no other income after that, they can lose a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, so I can't say it's everybody that don't want to work, but I definitely notice some people has gotten lazy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, maybe they thought the money is going to continue to come. Who's to say that another stimulus check won't be issued, you know what I'm saying, to the public? Who's to say? Because the way things are looking now, so they trying to shut shit back down, you know what I'm saying? Or unless you get, like they call it, unless you get the jab, you know what I'm saying? If you don't get the jab, then you ain't going to be able to participate in the day-to-day, you know, daily commerce, if you would, and hopefully it doesn't get to that point, you know what I'm saying, where you have to get the jab in order to do daily commerce, to operate in society, you know what I'm saying. And I guess we'll see that if jobs start to require that you get it, starting to see certain venues are requiring that you have it, and it seems like it's going that way with travel. Definitely gonna have to have it when you're traveling. So as far as, big functions like, soccer games, UNM United or New Mexico United, We'll see if events like that require you to and I feel like they mentioned something about the balloon fiesta and the fair. I'm gonna have to look into that, but you know, who's to say if it will get shut back down? So I mean, if it does, there may be another incentive, but who knows? Like if it does get shut down, that may be, you may have to get the job in order to take advantage of the unemployment. If it does get shut back down, who knows? You know what I'm saying? If they're gonna try to force it on us, make it mandatory that you get it, who knows? But I definitely see a lot of that playing into the work environment. But people get back into the workforce. It may be a little difficult down the line. That's the only thing I see. It may be difficult down the line to get employment in the time that you may need it. You dig? If shit don't shut back down and life goes on and unemployment stops in. Oh, and if you haven't already, like the video, share the video, talk it over with somebody, you know what I'm saying? See what's your thoughts on it, see what their thoughts on it, compare notes, leave a comment as far as what you think too. You know what I mean? And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to hit that notification bell. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I last dropped the video, but hey, we're going to try to keep it coming to you. Like I say, something versus nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, just stay patient with a brother, but, we're going to keep it coming for y'all. But it's your man, Mike DeLoach. Thank you for watching. Until next time, we'll holla back. As always, thank you for watching A Black Man in New Mexico with your man, Mike DeLoach. So, if you haven't already, hit that icon in the corner. Be sure to click on my face so that you can subscribe to the channel and get uploaded, when we drop that new content. And by the way, be sure to check out one of these videos here as well, to see what else we got going on in the content, But again, we appreciate you. It's your man, Mike DeLoach. And until next time, we'll holla back.